Oh, that's quick. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this. This is your weekly WWE SmackDown Live review. I'm your host, LK, joined by my partner in crime. Obviously, we'll not be doing anything criminal on this show, but we will be watching, well, we have watched something very criminal, should be illegal to watch, and that was SmackDown Live. I'm joined by Rasslin Rantin. How are you this evening, or morning, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world?
This is evening over here, man. We're on WWE time. Yeah, we're not going to do anything criminal like Dean Ambrose would, but we are going to review the SmackDown Live from today. What's today? August the 9th, 2016. What a show! I can't even fake it.
God, everyone in the comments put, was this show a win, loss? Was this show a loss or a tie? That's the important thing. That's what's the question. Do you think this show is a loss or a tie? There's no win involved in there. I feel insulted if anyone put win, and if it was, it'll be in a comedic way. And we don't joke about pro wrestling on this channel. Oh no. So what do you give it, Rantin? What do you give first?
I will give this show I'll give it a weak tie because there were parts of it that were interesting. The biggest problem with SmackDown, and I did say this on the Rasslin review show I did the other, is that there's gaping holes in this show, and we'll talk about it as we go along, that makes some things not make any sense. So you're kind of not interested in what's going on because it doesn't really matter. So that's why it's kind of a weak win. Or a weak tie, I should say.
Yeah. I just shut up there. I was like, "What? God, grief, weak win." No, I fell asleep during. I'm gonna be honest. I fell asleep during the Carmella and Natalia match, so I didn't. I kind of woke up as Ziggler was making his entrance, so I don't know if anything happened in between then that was any importance. Because I was just literally sat there, just literally bored out of my mind. So because of that, and because of the fact it made me fall asleep, I'm going to give it a loss. It's a rarity for me to give anything a loss because obviously I may be negative Nelly, but I just don't give losses. I don't think it's fair. But well, we'll break it down and then people will be able to understand why exactly we give it a loss. So the show starts off with Charlie Caruso, whoever this bird is. She approaches. If you build a, did you see during Randy Orton's match when he went on the buckle? And JBL going, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. I'm hoping everyone thinks of me, and I'm hoping that JBL's thinking of me when he says it. She talks and hypes the Alberto Del Rio match for tonight's show and saying, is he still focused on Brock Lesnar? Orton says Lesnar may be big and bad, but it only takes one RKO to get to Viperville. Del Rio then appears, says Viperville sounds like a joke, very true, something like Disneyland. Orton offers Del Rio a VIP experience, but warns him that it's a bumpy ride with a hell of a landing. Then we go to the opening video package, and then Pyro, bomb. Bray Wyatt makes his way to the ring. Eric Rowan's with him. Fucking what a toilet. And then we get the first of many replays of last week, with Ziggler and Rowan taking out Ziggler and Ambrose to close off the show. Wyatt comes out. He wants to make something crystal clear. He did not fall to Ziggler last week. He was a victim. He says Ziggler was desperate. Wyatt says Ziggler ran him into steel and everything went black for him after that. Wyatt says he is God, and no matter how Ziggler tries, he can never kill a god. He goes on, and the fans boo. Wyatt says there's no red or blue. This is him against the whole damn world. Pretty damn decent promo. Ambrose comes out, a pretty decent pop. He calls Bray Wyatt's promos biblical mumbo jumbo and takes the piss out of them both. Ziggler comes out. He stops Ambrose, but then quickly runs in the ring himself. Ambrose is like, fuck off. And then realizes, oh shit, he's getting battered. Oh, fuck it, I may as well. He goes in to make the save. But then Ziggler goes to super kick Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt kind of pulls Ambrose in. It looks like an accident, or is it not? Ziggler's kind of confused. Bray Wyatt hits Sister Abigail. End of segment 1. Enjoyed the Wyatt promo. I liked the super kick to Ambrose. I thought that was interesting because you could have gone, oh, did he actually mean to do that? Did Wyatt pull him? I thought that was interesting, but I didn't like how long it took like Ziggler to go, oh, fuck, after. Like he hit the super kick and then realized, oh, shit, I got a feed to Wyatt. And the timing was just off. But I thought it was a pretty damn start to the show. I mean, it went majorly downhill and very fast after this, but I enjoyed this as an opener.
Yeah, it was an interesting opener. It's set up for the rest of the show, but again, my only major complaint about it is that this is raw booking from the last 10 years. We've seen this kind of setup over and over and over and over and over again. And the point of these shows, especially SmackDown, was to be doing something different and doing something new. And it's part of the reason why I didn't watch Raw this week. I watched SmackDown by choice just to kind of, not be inundated with so much WWE in 1 week. But I was expecting SmackDown, again, from a couple weeks ago when they did the roster splits. You were going to have a lot more solid booking, solid wrestling, and some different stuff, and not so much the same formula we've seen. It really seems like they've taken all the old Raw writers and put them on SmackDown. And the SmackDown show is now just formatted like Raw used to be. So,
yeah, that's true. I like how, they're still giving them something to do before SummerSlam, and it gives Wyatt something to do. But what's Wyatt actually going to do for SummerSlam? Like, my initial thoughts were, are we going to get triple threat? Or I don't know what they're going to do with Bray Wyatt. I mean, looking up and down the SmackDown roster, there's not really that much they can do with him. I mean, my first impression is Orton, because obviously they're doing their house shows. They did that at the Dark match after Raw went off air. I can honestly picture at the Backlash, which will be after the SummerSlam, we get Orton, Bray Wyatt, which I think I talked about on a program with you before about how I'd be very interested in Orton Wyatt. So fingers crossed for that. But what's poor Bray Wyatt doing at SummerSlam, do you think?
probably not anything. You got to keep in mind, too, because of the brand split, each of those brands are only probably going to get maybe 4 or 5 matches on the show. So you're looking, I mean, you already got the main event for the world title. You got Cena and AJ. There'll be a tag match. There'll be a women's match. So there's only really one other match they can possibly book there if they're doing 5 matches from SmackDown. So I don't even think it's necessary for him to wrestle. He could be, he could just be kind of lurking in the wings, waiting to see the results of this match. Because I have a strong feeling the way they're booking him right now that he'll probably get that belt before the year's out. So I think this is all kind of a setting up for him later on in the year.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, yeah, fingers crossed for that. I mean, God grief, but how can you take Wyatt seriously after the amount of losses that he's taken? Like, name me a time. So you're a big advocate for Bray Wyatt. Name me a time when the last clean win Bray Wyatt had in a wrestling match, in a ring.
It was actually fairly recently. He did get. I remember noting it, but I can't remember who it was against. He did get a clean win recently, but I always say this: before last year, I wasn't too down on Wyatt because he actually won more feuds than he lost, and we can go through the whole thing about he won 5 feuds against Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler and so on and so forth. But he lost that feud to John Cena, and that's the only one that matters. But now he's I think Braun Strowman, I think that hurt him in particular. I think the Wyatts getting hurt, Luke Harper being out, them being on the show, off the show, on the show, off the show. I think that's hurt him more than his win-loss record. Because again, to me, characters like this, like Bray Wyatt and Kevin Sullivan and Jake Snake Roberts, their win-loss records aren't as important as the damage that they do. I think the New Day feud was a good step in the right direction for him, but since they cut it off so short, it really looks like they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with him and keep him in the main event picture. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the year.
Well, I'm guessing I'd rather them wait and actually find something for him to do than just put him with anyone. I guess that does make a little bit of sense. We'll go with that. We had American Alpha defeating Mike Vega and Mickey O'Shea. One of them was severely out of shape. The other one didn't look like a wrestler. So that was fairly amusing watching them getting tossed around. The Vaudevillains, the Hype Bros, and the Ascension were ringside. The match finished, and then there was a big all-out brawl until Gable and Jordan clear the ring, stand tall as their music hits. I'm going to be honest, I enjoyed that. The squash match did its purpose, and that's it introduced American Alpha to the the worldwide audience, because obviously NXT is still a niche audience. People are like, oh, but they've been in NXT and that's worldwide and it's on the network. You got to remember, only what 1.5 people own the network. That being million. 2-3 million people are watching this, so there's still that gap of people who don't own the network or watch NXT. But maybe that's just people who don't just buy the network because they don't believe in purchasing things. So who knows? But I was a fan of this. Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley are employed still. I might start a countdown like every single day, just like write like a cross on my wall, like a chalk of Zack Ryder being employed. And then the day it doesn't, just like stop. I think that could be great. But no, what were your thoughts on this? What do you think it's leading to? Do you think it's a turmoil or a four-way match for the Universal Tag Belts, or what do you think is going to go on?
Fuck the Universal Tag. That's the problem again with that. Just as a side note, with this whole Universal fucking thing, what do you call the SmackDown Tag Titles? What do you call the SmackDown Women's Championship? Do not fucking bring back that Divas title.
Oh yeah.
You anyway. So as far as the segment was concerned, I've been saying this for a long time because we constantly complain about the fact that they take mid-carders and you'll wind up burying somebody if you have a debut team like American Alpha or whoever who's not in a feud, and then they just wind up being cannon fodder for whoever you're putting as the hot team or hot talent at the time. So squash matches are good. This is definitely old school squash matches because, as you mentioned, one of those guys was out of shape and out of weight, and we'll be talking about that later on this week. But it gets over American Alpha's moveset. It gets over American Alpha as being a legitimate tag team, and the whole thing with everybody kind of converging on them because they're kind of in the middle, which is actually kind of cool because they're brand, and you basically had NXT's old tag team division all out there and having to go. Now, the booking of it, with all of the teams outside the ring and then coming in and attacking, that just me. I like that they're pushing American Alpha, but I think even if this was on NXT, they would have done this a different way. And I think they should do it a different way. This is kind of like we need to get them all screen time. I don't know. I'm going to give it a little bit of a pass because I know this whole thing with the brand split is still in its infancy. They're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with it. Although I think they should have figured that out before they did it. So we'll see. It's an even segment to me. I like Alpha getting a push. And JBL didn't bury them. I was shocked.
Yeah, that is shocking. I kind of back to the belt. They have two options with the tag, as I was talking about tag teams. They could either go back to having world tag team belts, have world and WWE tag belts, or what they could do is have Raw be the Universal belts, SmackDown be the W belts. Now that is simple. You could do trades. Simple. Make Vince say, "Look, you can literally just say it. Trade. You could do trades. Simple. They used to do trades. Like do trades because, dude, what happens if half the Universal belts are on SmackDown and the other half are on Raw? I mean, what does Universal actually stand for? So just fucking put all the shit Universal on Raw. Like, what are they gonna call this women belt? Are they? Oh my god, this is the worst. This is the worst case scenario for the women. What would you do if they make women's tag team belts?
They don't have enough people to do that, but that would be atrocious. They're having a hard time just getting the singles titles across, but who the hell knows anymore? Jesus Christ. So I don't know. I guess on SmackDown would be the tag team champions of Uranus since the Universal. I want the Uranus tag team championships, and then I want the Galactic Women's Championship to go along with the Supernova tag team titles. That'll be a subdivision. I mean, that's the problem with it. I said this before. I don't know if I said it to you, but they should have just called these belts the WWE Universe Championship because we know what the WWE Universe is. Just drop the Universal, just call it Universe, and then it makes sense. But Universal, you have a world title, an IC title, an intercontinental title, a European title, a US title. When you say universe, it makes me think that the people are fucking fighting on Pluto. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, they even mentioned it tonight that Daniel Bryan's thinking of kayfabe is thinking of what the tag title is going to be. So I don't know. They run themselves into a corner with it. So we'll see how they get out of it.
Best case scenario, it's got to be world tag belts. That's got to be the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I can honestly see them going universal tag, universal women. That's what I honestly see. But if it was me, I'd have world tag team and then have maybe a women's TV title where it's defended every single week. Because let's call a spade a spade. On Raw, you're going to be guaranteed to get a cruiserweight championship match. By the way, that 5 titles is an overkill on a brand. We're going to have 9 belts. 9 fucking championship fucking belts.
Yeah, that was again. That's one of the big problems I have with the brand split because you have too many fucking titles and you're not gonna be able to keep track of all of them. And somebody won a title, big fucking deal. Who was the champion? I don't know. When you have that many belts, and this was a problem back in the day, even in the '80s. Crockett had like fucking 8 championships, and you didn't know who was champion one week from the next, and you didn't care. So it kind of defeats the purpose. You have more people, you have more belts, but then they don't mean as much. So then the characters don't mean as much who hold them. So I don't know. Well, I'm gonna be optimistic though, guys. I'm gonna hope for the best. I'll be positive. I'm not gonna be positive Petey, as Dave says. I'm not gonna be a negative Nelly and try to say I hope they work it out. There you go.
Yeah, well, we don't want them to be bad. We don't come like before the show. Oh, I hope this show sucks. You do.
Yeah, I don't hope it's bad, but this is again back to why I didn't want the brand split because this stuff was going to happen, and I'm just like, happen. That's why I said don't do it. But it is what it is. I don't control WWE.
My dream show is half of it very, very good, and half of it being meh, okay, maybe even shit. As a reviewer, that's what I want. I want half very good, so that I can praise it and say how awesome it was. Check this out. But I still want some bad in there because obviously as a reviewer, want negativity is always fun to do. But like when you come on here and you're actually more depressed, you have more fun talking about it than actually watching the show. That's when you know there's something big wrong. There's something major wrong. And with this show, I don't think it helped. I didn't help at all that Cena and AJ weren't on it. Like that to me was a big because they're in my opinion them. Randy Orton, they're the 3 top dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I throw Ambrose in there, I guess, but we gotta get used to it because Cena's going to be going away soon to film that TV show. He's going to be gone for a couple months, so I don't know what the fuck they're going to do come. I think it's October. So,
I mean, there was no Apollo Crews, there was no Kalisto, there was no Baron Corbin. There obviously was Kalisto and Baron Corbin, but no in-ring wise. There was no Miz, no IC champ. There was lots missing here. This was a very, very, very light SmackDown roster. That's why I might not be as really as critical as I can be because there. And considering that's only 40% of the whole roster, cut that in half. This is what 20%. They're doing an Australian tour on Thursday, so I'm thinking that's why they're fucking off. I still don't understand why they're not doing SmackDown house shows and Raw house shows. Why it's still joint house shows. That's the objective of the actual draft. I thought we were splitting the crews in half, completely competitive, competing house shows, competing TV ratings. I thought that's the deal. They're already doing interpromotional matches for fuck's sake. I mean, on SmackDown, Cena and AJ were on it during a commercial. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton were on the dark match. They've already fucking lost their track with this draft shenanigans. But we'll get back to SmackDown, and we will get to your live comments at the end of the show as well, so don't think we won't. So you have the illustrious Eva Marie come out in this high-profile, just built Eva Marie. She comes out to go one-on-one with Becky Lynch. I was confused. I thought it was announced Becky Lynch versus Carmella on the pre-show. Maybe I was wrong, but maybe I'm the only sad fuck to actually watch the pre-show. So it was what it was. So the bell rang, and we all know Eva Marie is a whore. Like that's not. If we played fact or fiction, everyone would say fact that she's a whore.
Yeah.
She removed her top.
Mm-hmm.
and left. The match was stopped because of it. She couldn't put the referee couldn't put her straps back on for her. She had to run to the back. And then Becky Lynch says, I want to fight someone. And then Alexa Bliss comes out. They have an okay-ish match. The match comes to an end when Eva Marie's music hits. She comes out. It's announced she's ready to compete, but it's only a distraction, allowing Bliss to roll up Becky for the win. Winner Alexa Bliss. And the commentators really liked pointing out this was her birthday. Good grief. I don't think anyone will ever forget that. And then after the match, Eva is interviewed and says she'll make her debut next week. You know what? For all the hatred for this whore, that being Eva Marie, not Alexa Bliss or Becky Lynch. Could get mixed up, huh? But I actually think this is actually quite logical and quite smart. You know, you don't want to see her so bad that when she's on, you're like, oh, fuck off. And then when she can't actually compete, you're like, yes, get in there. You're actually excited. You don't have to see the whole wrestle. But the thing is, though, how long can they keep this up for? I actually have to get creative. I might actually have to think of ideas to do. But, I mean, I wouldn't actually mind if they kept doing this for months. And you're waiting for someone to get your hands on her, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting. And then finally, when someone gets their hands on her, it's going to mean something, and the crowd's going to explode. So I think this could actually be good, and it's getting her heel heat. I mean, she has instant heel heat for being a whore. Now she's getting heel heat for being this cowardly heel, chicken shit piece of shit. I think it's superb. Superb writing. This is a highlight of the show for me.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to book around Eva Marie's shortcomings and the fact that most hardcore fans hate her and the casual fans don't really care for her too much. Where it's going to go is the thing I'm kind of curious about. I'm not going to devote too much brain energy to try to figure it out. It's different. It's interesting instead of her just going in there and botching about 10 moves. The best thing... You can work with Eva Marie's character, and they actually did in NXT, and some people may have forgotten this, like maybe it was 6 or 7 months ago. She had that match with Bayley for the championship, and you thought the fix was in, and they threw the referee and the corporate out there. Michael Cole got out there. That was a brilliant way of using Eva Marie. So if they can do stuff like that, I think Eva Marie can work, but the downside of that, too, is like you said, they're going to have to constantly think of things because she can't work to do with her. And that's a hard thing. But this segment is interesting. And I think I'm not going to get bored of it. It might take about a month before I get, all right, cool. What is she going to do now? She's going to slip on a banana peel today. Somebody's going to come from the back and blow past her and chat. You know, it's going to have to lead somewhere. I hope they planned it out. I say that as I get sad. I get sad as soon as I say it. I hope they planned it out. I hope they planned it out that it's got some sort of conclusion to it that you go, oh, that's why she's been doing that for the last couple months. Again, I'm going to keep hope alive.
I could picture Vince drinking his coffee and then you saying that I'm spitting it all on his creative stuff. Oh, well.
What I'm calling my show again, and then I'll have to yell at them.
If you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, Randy Orton versus Alberto Del Rio. Thoughts? For people wanting a review, Del Rio rolls to the floor after countering the RKO. They had a quite nice finishing exchange, to be honest. Orton follows, clotheslines him into the timekeeper's area. Orton then takes apart the announce table. Del Rio grabs a steel chair, nails Orton with it to obviously get disqualified. After the bell, Del Rio continues the assault, rolls Randy Orton into the ring. Del Rio follows with a chair, waits for Orton to get up. Orton hits the arc out of nowhere to a big pop. Boom. Simple. I think they actually protected Bertie here. I was shocked how much they protected him. Like, I thought, okay, here's going to be a nice clean win for Randy Orton heading into SummerSlam, but why are they saving Bertie for something else in the future? Like, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on?
Well, that's actually a good thing to do because, again, back to the squash match thing, I cannot stand it when they take their mid-card guys when they're not doing anything and feed them the other mid-card guys because that lowers everybody. So it's a good thing that they protected Del Rio in this match. I think the big story from the match, obviously, is the story told in the match with Del Rio going after the arm, almost as if Heyman and Lesnar put a bounty out on Randy Orton, which would be a good storyline. They don't do those anymore. That's another old school.
I remember, sort of cut off, I remember when Triple H did that on Goldberg, and then Batista took him out with his ankle, and then part of the Evolution story. I thought that was magnificent. That needs to be used a lot. That could be with Heyman. You know, even though I am a Jewish lawyer from New York, he rips down the briefcase. But then again, why does Brock Lesnar need Randy Orton injured, harmed? He doesn't. He can take on 100%. Or that would show that. So that the story for that was that Triple H was scared of Goldberg and he needed like a body part to target. Brock's not scared of Orton. Like, I think this is to set up the spot with the Kimura. Like, because then when he locks in the Kimura, I think this is the cop out for them. I reckon Lesnar will win with the Kimura. But again, I'm still saying this. I'm sticking with my gut. My gut instinct still says Randy Orton's going to win this. It's just in my gut. My gut says Randy Orton's going to win this.
I don't know. Well, possibly. Now, especially after last night, given Dean Ambrose kind of throwing Lesnar under the bus for being lazy at Russell, literally saying that he was lazy at WrestleMania. I was still shocked about that one. But I don't know. I see this match, again, old school. I'm the ancient dude on the show. So I see this match a lot like DDP and Goldberg from Halloween Havoc in '98. It's almost the same kind of thing. You know, DDP's move was a diamond cutter, which is essentially the RKO. He hit it out of nowhere like the RKO. Goldberg, big shoot fighter, like Brock Lesnar. So it's going to be, can Randy Orton take the ass whooping enough to the point where he can hit the RKO, and can Lesnar get up, much like that DDP Goldberg match, which Goldberg won. I don't see Randy winning because I think even with all his problems right now, Lesnar pretty much can do whatever the fuck he wants to. He's not going to job to anybody unless their last name is Cena or maybe even Reigns. But he's not jobbing to Randy Orton. The match itself again with Del Rio, the setup. I love the setup with the arm. It gives it. This is something they should do. It's like you set something up now, so when we get into the match, it's a story in the match that Orton's arm, his shoulder, which was already, he came back a year being injured on, has been hurt again. Can the shoulder hold up? Will Lesnar go after it? What happens if he slaps on a Kimura or an arm bar? That's a great story going into this match, which makes me a little bit more interested now to see how it's going to play out between the RKO, the arm injury, and just Lesnar being fucking Lesnar. I think this is one of the win segments for me on the night.
Definitely needs it bandaged. Like, he needs it taking out big time next week and bandaged for the match. I think that could be interesting. Then we have Rhino with a very funny backstage segment with Heath Slater. Slater comes in saying he needs this job for his kids, his 2 kids, as he just brought a pool. Rhino mentions himself winning his primary whatever it is in Michigan last week. I don't understand American politics. There's a different mayor and I don't even care to comment on that. And he basically goes, sorry, how many kids was that again? And he goes, 4. I found that funny. I'm sorry, I found that entertaining. But what I did not find entertaining was the Miz going inside a fucking Scooby-Doo's mystery machine as the fucking Scooby drives off with his Audi. That was an absolute joke, a travesty, and disrespectful to anything everyone's ever done that's comical. I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that segment with the Miz and fucking Scooby-Doo? Like, fuck off.
No, I actually left the room. I went to do something else while that was on, sorry.
Lucky motherfucker, you are one lucky man. Oh god, it was awful. And it didn't even look like a good Scooby-Doo. It was just it looked like R-Truth dressed up in it. I thought, is it going to be R-Truth?
It probably was R-Truth.
You're probably right. This led to Heath Slater versus Rhino. Slater, this didn't make sense. So Slater rolls him up. He gets the 1, he gets the 2, and then puts his feet on the ropes. I'm like, dude, just pull the man's fucking tights. The ref ain't going to see that. And he didn't, and fucking Rhino got up, gored his ass, and got the win. Rhino's employed, Heath Slater's not. I like this free agent stuff, and I liked how when they had a graphic, it came up not SmackDown with his. I like how they have the stats. He just got a free agent WWE logo of Heath Slater on. I thought that was really fucking funny, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going. And then when the thing is, though, I actually think it could be a big babyface moment when Heath Slater does finally win. Like he's against this big bad heel, maybe like a Braun Strowman, and then he gets like that big roll up win, and the crowd go mental. I think that could be actually like a good little a turn if they do this long enough, but not too long to the point where you don't care. I think this could be a really big breakout moment in this Heath Slater's career.
Yeah, they're again much like the Eva Marie thing. They're trying to find ways to get you to be interested in watching these segments when these guys come on, because typically if Heath Slater came on, bathroom break. Eva Marie comes on, bathroom break. Oh, what they're doing this thing. Oh, I want to see if Heath Slater is going to win this time. Oh, no, he didn't win this time. So next time he comes out, oh, is he going to win this time? Nope. And they're just going to keep doing it. Again, much like the Eva Marie thing, though, I hope they've thought it out to where, like you said, it's some sort of big win that he gets over a Braun Strowman or a Bray Wyatt or somebody like that, where he kind of gets briefly elevated. But the problem with this kind of booking, though, is that after that, then what do? You kind of get into that Damien Sandow territory where you build up to, remember Sandow with The Miz, and you build up to the breakup, and the breakup happens, and then, okay, we had that moment, and then there's nothing else afterwards. So I'm hoping that's not going to be for him.
I don't know, because just say he beats a champion, like non-title, obviously, because WWE like their non-title matches. He beats the champion non-title, and he's like, "Hey, I just beat the blah 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 Universal cocksucking tree hogging world champion. Like, I want a match for that cocksucking tree holding world champion." And then he wins the belt, and then you go on from there. I mean, we are giving them far too much credit. This is probably accidental. Like, oh, go fuck off out there. Like, let's just not give them that credit. Don't put too much pressure on them to come up with this. I guarantee in 2 weeks' time, Heath Slater will just be employed. Oh god, because they don't like. What is it with them? They don't like long-term booking, don't they? Everything has to be now. That's one thing that really pisses me off.
They're booking based on ratings and quarter-hour ratings, and it's been that way for a while, but you would think
they do a great job at the ratings, don't they?
Yeah, really. You think it'd be different though, because with the roster split, that you have less characters to worry about, and you have these writing teams split up, and they can focus. And this is a 2-hour show, not a 3-hour show. They can just focus on it. I don't know. I mean, I don't think any of us know really what the makeup is as far as who's on what team and who's writing what show behind the scenes. But it seems to me that would be the point creatively of the roster split, so they should be getting better. But again, I think we should give them some leeway. This is only the third week they've been doing this SmackDown Live. So, I'm going to give it a little bit of time, see if any of these storylines are going anywhere. But again, it served its purpose. You actually gave a shit about a Heath Slater match, which usually would have been a squash match in about, a year and a half ago. So
that's true. We'll give them that. Thoughts on Carmella versus Natalya? I'm reading from WrestlingInc.com. No affiliation. It's just this. They don't make you click next page when looking at the results. They put she goes for the sharpshooter, that being Natalya. Then Natalya goes for the sharpshooter, but Carmella turns it into the code of silence, and Natalya taps out. So, what's your thoughts on this match? Because I was asleep.
When did they? First off, I don't know when they renamed her finisher. But that was shocking to me. Carmella, I love Carmella. I hated her when she was first with Enzo and Big Cass. But then she grew on me, and she grew on full. They used to boo the shit out of her at Full Sail. But she grew on everybody, and she's improved. Again, I think, and now it seems to be this is what the problem was anyway with them bringing all these people up. They brought them up for the brand split. I think they brought her up too quick. I think they brought Alexa Bliss up too quick. Nia Jax too quick. So I don't even think they had enough weight with the NXT crowd to come up and have any kind of. I mean, the crowd was dead. So hopefully her quirky personality can get over with them. I think she's got a lot of talent in the future. But it was a good match. I was actually shocked as hell to see Natalya tap out to her finisher. So that, good for Carmella, good for Alexa Bliss. The NXT girls getting some pub, but again, for what? Because there's no championship to go after. So they're winning just to win, I guess. Yep, exactly.
Yep. So that's what you heard during the Carmella match. Like, I when she came out, I was like, oh god, that was a poor like, fuck me. Like, I've heard some no responses in my life, but that could top, like, no one knew who she was. That's the issue with this I have, is there's no video package. That's one thing they did a great job with Baylor this week on Raw. They kept him off. They did a couple of really slick, very sick vignettes on Baylor, building him up to be this demon king, and it got you to know the character, the person, so when Baylor comes out, you know who the fuck he is, you know what his character is. I like that a lot about Baylor, and they're having Carmella go out just cold. Like, just cold. How are you expecting people who just are going there because it's WWE and they're in town, they're not like hardcores, they don't follow NXT, they don't follow the developmental, who Carmella is? You could ask some people who watch NXT weekly, they might, not like proper weekly, just the takeovers, they might not know who Carmella is.
Right. She didn't wrestle on, actually. I don't think she wrestled on the takeovers, actually.
So if you just watch the takeovers, you don't know who the fuck Carmella is.
Right. I think they should probably do something different because they're doing the Smack Talk tonight, which is another thing that I suggested on the show. If they keep using my ideas, I'm going to actually think they watch my show. But I think one thing, if you are watching WWE people and steal our ideas, one thing you should do to help this out, especially on SmackDown, with all these new stars, is you should have those sit-down interviews. Go back and see what Jim Ross did with Mankind, what he did with Goldust, just the way that you do it in the UFC shows. Even TNA used to do it here and there. But these new characters, you don't have to have them go in a match and wrestle a match and have a 5-minute sit-down interview that's pre-taped with Michael Cole or whoever the fuck it is, and just have Carmella talk about herself, talk about being the Queen of Staten Island or the Princess of Staten Island, whatever the fuck she is, talk about her finisher, and just do that and get familiar early in the show, and then later in the show when she comes out, you know her. And do that with a lot of these guys and girls. Do it with Baron Corbin, do it with Alexa Bliss, do it with American Alpha. They have a great story, especially with their collegiate backgrounds, and it is Olympic season. Why the fuck don't you have Chad Gable talking about his Olympic career right now on SmackDown? So do those things. You'll get these characters more familiar with the general audience, and then you can start doing these kind of matches where they're winning. Right now, it's a cold win. It's a big win for her career-wise, but it's a cold win because nobody knew who she was going into it, and nobody cared who she was going out of it. So.
Yeah, it wasn't like that huge upset victory where the crowd were on their feet like, holy fuck, what just happened? It was, it just happened. No, thank God I went for a piss.
It's not 1, 2, 3 Kid with beating Razor Ramon. No, it's not that. It's not that moment.
Jeez. Then we had Ambrose and Ziggler versus the Wyatt family in the main event. The match is okay. Ambrose at the end went for a tope to the floor, and my God, he landed very nastily.
Yeah.
Very, very badly. Very nasty on the floor. Ziggler hits a super kick on Rowan to get the Rowan to get the win. Apologies, it's 4 a.m. To get the win, and then Ambrose and Ziggler celebrated until Ambrose said, "Hey, fuck you! I'm gonna hit Dirty Deeds on you." Hit Dirty Deeds in the middle of the ring. Fans chanted yes. Ambrose grabbed the belt. His music hits. We get a replay as SmackDown goes off the air with Ambrose looking back at the ring as Ziggler is laid out. The match itself was, your standard SmackDown tag team main event. If you've watched 10 episodes of SmackDown, you knew how this match went. But I was shocked it was Ambrose. Like, to me, if I'm right, I'm having Ziggler do that. Okay, you're making a champion looking strong. But people, you want to believe that Ziggler can take Ambrose, because the way that Ziggler was positioned in the card this time 1 month ago, he was losing to Baron Corbin. So you want Ziggler to ambush Ambrose to now think, holy fuck, Ziggler could beat Ambrose at SummerSlam. I'm going to pay to see if Ziggler does the upset and does beat Ambrose. Unless they're saving that for the go-home show next week, I don't know. But I think it was a missed opportunity with having Dolph Ziggler get beaten down like that. I'm not. I know Ziggler got the pin, but I'm not a fan of having him look like that. I just don't like that. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they're going for him being the underdog thing. I think it's constantly with him constantly always winding up on his back at the end of every show. And that's where Ziggler works best, and that's where he has worked best in his career, from that the underdog coming back thing. Ambrose, and I'm going to dovetail a little bit into the Stone Cold podcast last night, which you guys haven't watched that with Ambrose and Stone Cold. That is the weirdest podcast I've ever seen in my life. But Ambrose talked last night about how he admired Harley Race as a world champion back in the old NWA days, and how he said Harley Race would come in and he knew he was the man. He didn't really care. He'd fuck you up if he wanted to. Can you beat me? That's the question. And I think he's trying. I can see a little bit of a modern day Harley Race, a little bit. And when Ambrose, and hearing that last night, it kind of makes a little bit more sense why he does what he does now. But that's his role. I think Ziggler's role is the underdog. Weirdly enough, now even saying that, this is kind of a Harley Race, Ric Flair kind of a thing. You know, that was the way when Flair won his third title. That was kind of the same scenario that they were doing now. So I don't know what you think about this, but I can't pick this match. It's like 50-50 for me who's going to win at SummerSlam. Yeah. Who do you think is going to win?
I'm in the same boat. Part of me thinks Ziggler's going to win because this stupid Kent State Hall of Fame. You know, go in as WWE champ. You know that could be cool. And this unpredictable new era, anything can happen bullshit, which they keep saying over and over again. And maybe there is that part of the audience that loves Ziggler. I'm in that part of the audience, but I don't know. I just feel Ambrose is going to retain. We're going to do Wyatt versus Ambrose at Backlash. Or Ziggler is going to be pissed, turn heel, maybe a feud with Randy Orton. Oh, take my money, Ziggler, Randy Orton, take my money. I think if we get a serious heel Ziggler just come out. I don't like the name. Do you like the name Dolph Ziggler? Do you think that's silly? Do you reckon he should just be Nick Nemeth?
Well, I don't think he should be either. I think he should come up with a different name. The Dolph Ziggler thing, I never dug it. His whole gimmick is bad for two reasons. Number one, it's silly. The name is terrible and silly. Number two, he's just an amalgamation of Shawn Michaels, Kurt Hennig, Billy Gunn, about 3 or 4 other people. So there really is no Dolph Ziggler. He's not really himself. He's just this combination of other wrestlers every time I look at him. So I think he needs to find his own identity. And it's really weird to say for a guy who's been wrestling as long as he has, but he really doesn't have his own identity. You know, you're always watching him going, that's like Shawn, that's like Billy Gunn, that's like Kurt Hennig. He needs to find himself. So, heel Ziggler, he'd have to be cowardly. He'd have to be.
He's done that, but I wouldn't mind a serious one. Like, I'm Dolph Damn Ziggler. Like a Seth Rollins where he comes out like, I'm the fucking man. Like, come out saying, I'm Dolph Damn Ziggler. I've spent my whole fucking life watching people just climb above me, climb above me, climb above me. Now it's my time. It's my damn time. I've had enough of this crap. I'm going for it. Enough of this showing off. I'm not here to show off. I'm here to make money, win matches, and win championship belts. Oh, shouldn't say belts. Championship gold. There you are. Like, just serious. Like, I can't stand these not serious people. Like, if this is real and this is real, you have to. Heath Slater brought up money. The higher up the card you are, the more money you earn, as obviously Ryback knows. Well, actually, no. According to Ryback, if you work more, yeah, Ryback's logic. I should be paid more than John Cena because I wrestle more than John Cena on house shows. I like your logic, Ryback. That means Heath Slater would be the highest paid athlete in fucking the world of professional wrestling. Unbelievable. But anyway, fucking back to the point. Like, this is serious. Like they're fighting for money, championship gold. Like I don't understand how you can have these characters like R-Truth and Goldust. Okay, you want to have a bit of comedy in there, but I've just never understood it. Like you can be comedic but serious at the same time. Like I think Santino did a good job of that. He was funny, but at the same time he wanted to get the job done. He wanted to win championship gold. He was challenging many times. I think he was even in a fucking world title match at Elimination Chamber. I think it was 2012 or 11 or one of them. Like he was kind of taken seriously. He sold merch. You know, he was taken seriously. He wanted to make money. You can do it like that. I just don't like when people are like, oh, should he be a serious heel or not? Yes, you should be serious. You should believe in yourself. You could be a cowardly heel, but they don't do it right. Like Triple H used to be an excellent cowardly heel because when he really had to, he could dig down deep in it because he's that, cerebral assassin as they used to call him. But with Ziggler, I mean, he's just not big enough to take seriously. In all due respect to the guy, I just don't like.
Yeah. I'm almost thinking that if he went heel and they paired him with Corbin as his kind of bodyguard, but then again we're going back to that's Shawn and Diesel. So it's really Dolph is very hard to get him to do something that's unique to him because he is so similar to a lot of other guys. But I think he's good enough that we saw him. He went through all those guys at Survivor Series a couple years ago. He can win matches. He can waste people. He can, hit a super kick, hit this guy, hit that guy, knock that guy out, get a pin. He can, and he's got the talent to move that fast and make it look believable. I don't know heel Ziggler. That works for him as a underdog babyface. I don't know heel Ziggler could do that. He'd have to do a lot of cheating. And I guess that's the way he'd have to do it. He'd have to cheat his ass off, use Corbin or somebody else. Even go back to the old school, pulling a foreign object out of your tights and hitting somebody. I haven't seen that in God knows how long. And just doing stuff like that, being a big ass cheater. I think that is the only way I could see Ziggler working. If he was like the biggest cheater on the fucking show as a heel, I could go with that, and it would make sense because he's done it athletically and kept losing. So then he decides, oh, I'm good enough, but I'm going to get that extra little thing over by just cheating my ass off every single chance I get. So,
like Jericho in late 0203, like he was constantly just cheating. I remember one time I think it was Unforgiven, where he pretended to buckle his leg after that. Went for a lion salt against Ric Flair, and then he pretended that he buckled his knee, and then Ric Flair's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Then he just fucking got up, stood up, like "fuck you," and applied the walls of Jericho to get the win. And then he cheated against blah blah blah. He at the Rumble 03 when he made Shawn Michaels bleed after he just got bored and started cheating and hitting him with a chair. Like, and being a kind of a crybaby, you can be like a cheating. I could picture Ziggler. All this, he is a complaining little bitch. He moans and groans on Twitter a lot. Be that. Be a crybaby, cheating heel. You cry, and then you cheat until someone puts an end to that cheating. That big baby face puts an end to that cheating, and then you cry and cry and cry. Like a little something.
The other way, I just had another thought because you did talk about him. He does bitch a lot, but I also thought about the fact that he likes to go after other people's girlfriends a lot. Not the Lana Rusev fuck all shit that they did last year, but if Ziggler, and this is one thing I have said about Ziggler for a long time. He is Mr. Steal Your Girl. They should have him do angles where he's just trying to bang every girl on the roster and trying to take everybody's girl. Oh God, yeah. Randy Orton remember a long time ago. Randy Orton had his wife on there. If they did a storyline with Ziggler turning heel, and he tried to sleep with Randy Orton's wife or try to hit on her, oh God, that print the money now. That would be a good fucking feud. So yeah, there's a lot of options for Ziggler. Again, he's got to find those things that we talked about: him being a whiner, him being the most talented guy, him having that background, him being Mr. Take Your Girl, and make his own character out of that and stop being, discount Shawn Michaels, bootleg Kurt Hennig kind of thing. So,
Wow, I swear, half this review is not talking about this show. It's just fucking trying to figure out what they're doing with these people. Because we still yet to know a few weeks in. But we'll get some live comments, as we did promise at the start of the show. We'll get to them. 5 likes, 0 dislikes. That's what we're all about. Thank you very much. Lich Richard. God, that SmackDown was awful. Very true. Uri Blake. SmackDown was diarrhea topped off with horse vomit. Lich Richard, but it was the most boring show I've seen. The only entertaining bit was the opening segment and the wardrobe malfunction. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, we hated this show, but we enjoyed the Eva Marie segment. Does that just show you how bad this show was?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ole Sami Ole, but can SmackDown have the Island Championship belts?
I want everybody to make up. Yeah, I want everybody to make up championship belts and just constantly tweet at WWE. Here's a new championship belt you can have. It's just the most ridiculous shit you can have. I love the Island Championship belt. That sounds great.
Army Ann puts the only highlight is SummerSlam being sponsored by KFC. Main event is the extra crispy kind. The G-Rock Freak. I like Eva Marie because everybody else hates her. Plus, she is hot. Are you sure you're not? Dude, that might actually be her. Wait, it might actually be her. Trevor Stevens.
She is
hot. Was that?
I agree with the second half of it. She is hot. I definitely bang her, but her character is terrible.
Trevor Stevens, weak tie. SmackDown is missing a lot. Yeah, I do agree about that. And so many damn commercials. Like, why did they replay Daniel Bryan winning the World Championship at WrestleMania 30 for some really fucking strange reason? Like, that's the part I woke up on. I was like, what the fuck am I, like, rewatching something on the network here? And it was sponsored by Mando, some film, like, that they showed a trailer for about 5 times. Even though I don't actually...
You know,
that's it. I don't even think it's out...
No.
I've never. The trailer did look pretty damn good, to be fair, but I don't know if it's that. Do you know the times it says in the cinemas? I don't know if that's American or English. I was watching on Sky Sports, but it didn't really make clear if when it's out in the cinemas in America or in England. So I was really fucking confused.
It's probably America because I think it comes out next week. But yeah, Ben-Hur's the original one's a classic, but they're remaking it, which what happens with remakes. But whatever. Oh yeah, you did say you missed out that part. They did do a package before the main event of Cena and AJ, where it was a decent video package where they chronicled the entire feud leading up to SummerSlam. So they were kind of on the show.
All right, well, I'll check it out on the W YouTube channel. Chauncey Bullock put Jeff Hardy staying with TNA in 2017. Good for him. Ole Sami Ole, the Panda Express hippie champion. Ray Mustani, the king of porn style, asks, this is a question for you, Rasslin Rantin. I'll ask you this one.
Mm-hmm.
How can you get rid of your man boobs? I'm buff but can't get rid of it.
Well, you can do what The Rock did and have surgery. Or you probably just have a lot of fat. I don't know what your diet is. But different people, it accumulates in different places. Like mine is on my lower back. So just change your diet up and eat a little bit less salt, a little less fatty foods, and work out a little bit more. You should be good.
Would you recommend working that area more? Because
it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter because the fat is on top of it. So it's like you see guys who are very strong guys and have a lot of muscle, but you don't see any definition in their arms because that's where their body fat goes, is in their arms. Mine goes a little bit of my arms out on my triceps though. So until you eat different kinds of food that don't contribute to that, and then you still have to work out regularly and everything else and sweat it off. But if you don't do that, you'll get that. That's why swimmers don't. You see swimmers right now in the Olympics, they don't look like that at all because they have to eat that diet and they're constantly in the water and they're constantly swimming. Once they stop doing that, then you notice they get really fucking big. Like you see a swimmer 10 years later, like, what the fuck happened to you? Because they stop their diet and it all comes back. So
We'll have one last question. Ray Mustani, thoughts on Herbalife?
Herbalife. Oh, man, I haven't heard of that in a long time. That's old school, dude. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Go to Whole Foods. There you go.
There you are, there. Is it bad to work out? Go on.
No, you good.
Is it bad to work out every day? That's the last question. I've closed the phone going now. There we are. Surely isn't it good to let your muscles heal? I mean, I for one go one day off, one day off. I like going because when I'm 30, 40, like I want to be the same size. Like I want to be able to play with my dude. Trust me. The metabolism's through. Like I could eat shit, and it won't put a pound on. Muscly, I want to stay the same, but I don't want to. When I get to the age of 30, like okay, if I get a belly, you know what? I'm old. Like I'm older. That's understandable, but I want to be healthy. If you know what I'm saying, I want to be able to run around with my children. I want to be able to even walk when I'm older. You know, I just want to take care of myself. So that's the only reason I go. No, I will never be a fitness king or expert, but surely it will be logical to take. What's your workout regime? This is, by the way, if you're listening to this and you're new to the show, once we get to live comments, it's kind of loosey goosey where we just kind of it's a bit more personal.
Yeah, and we talk to you guys, so keep the questions coming in or whatever, and we can talk about whatever, wrestling or otherwise. I do two, depending on the week, because some weeks I do mixed martial arts, which is workout in itself. I did take up yoga, which I suggest for the days you're not working out is to do yoga, because I used to not ever. I said I'd never fucking do yoga. I was like, that's some girl shit. I ain't doing that. And then I started doing yoga, and I was like, oh, it actually kind of helps to heal your body, and it clears your mind out a little bit. So the traditional thing that they say, and I'm not like a workout expert or anything, but the traditional thing that they say is that, you can take off a day, you can take off 2 days, but by the third day, everything you gained, you've lost. So I'd only go a day, maybe two, between working out, but you want to stay active. Even if you're not doing a full workout, you just want to, whether it's walking or doing yoga or, whatever it is, just basically stay active. It's a really simple thing. Stay active, eat as well as you can, and, just try to have a clear mind and you'll be healthy. It's not rocket science, but it also isn't the easiest thing to do in the world either, especially when you get older. So that's the best advice I can give.
Well, what time is it there? Are you all right for a few more live comments, or?
It's 11:12. We can do more live comments, but before we do that, because when we say we're going to shut off, so I know people leave, you and I should let them know it's coming Thursday in 2 days that LK is going to be watching. Would this be your first time ever watching this promotions shows?
I've seen one episode. I've watched WCW from 97 and 98. I've seen a few clips from 87, I think, on the network. But this will be the very first time I'm watching a weekly episodic NWA World Championship Wrestling show. And I'm very excited to do so.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Tomorrow I have off.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow I have off, and I'm just going to watch it. I've got NXT... and I've got Cruiserweight Classic, and I'm gonna really, really just enjoy that WCW show. It's just that's gonna be fascinating. It's gonna be so fucking fascinating to have a person who lived it to a person who was born a decade after it happened.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's fascinating. Like, that's crazy. Like, I don't know if anyone's done that before, but it's really fucking. I'm so pumped, and it's going to be interesting to see how you view it, to see how I view it, and how it won't make sense to me in ways, but it will make sense to you, and it might not make sense to you, but it might make sense to me. Like, it will be magnificent. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So Thursday, I guess we'll release a time on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. We're going to basically sit and watch the NWA's World Championship Wrestling, which was the name of the show before it was the name of the company back in '86. I can tell you guys two things are going to be fun about us watching that show. I want to see LK's reaction to a particular suplex that the Midnight Express give to this guy, because I think he's going to lose his shit when he sees it. And there's a segment, and I told LK about this before he watched it, with Dusty Rhodes, Magnum T, and Jim Cornette that you would never, ever, ever be able to do today. So it's just gonna, like he said, it's gonna be interesting to see a newer wrestling fan, an old school wrestling fan who hasn't watched this in forever, watch the show together and give our comments on it. So definitely check that out. It'll be Thursday on. I think we're doing it on you guys' channel this coming Thursday. So we'll let you guys know early Thursday afternoon about when we're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, all I know for sure is that it'll be American evening time, early UK time, like maybe an hour or two before this.
Right.
Yeah, so just fucking hit the notification button on your phone, and then you'll know when we're going live. That's the simplest option. One last question. This will be the very last question. It's from Ray Mustani. He asks, "What is the best ab workout?"
The best one actually is traditional sit-ups, but there's so many different ab crunchers and everything else. Basically, as long as you're working your abs. If you're doing it for definition, though, that's for core strength. If you're doing it for definition because you want six-pack abs, that again goes back to diet. So your diet's got to be right. And again, if your fat sits on your stomach, you can do 1,000 sit-ups every day this year. You're not going to get the six-pack unless you change that diet and get the fat out of there. So, but for core strength, if you're trying to do core strength stuff, do a lot of core strength workouts that gets your core in line. If you do, I don't know if anybody out there does mixed martial arts. Your core strength will be through the roof after the first couple of training drills, because they do. It's very similar. I remember the first day I did it. It was very similar to wrestling camps. Is where you do the rolls. They have you do the rolls. You run around. They show you a couple of basic moves and everything else. But the one thing about the gym I go to is the first day I was there, they just threw me on the mat with a guy who was like a second-degree black belt and said, "Go." And I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to? Oh, shit. Okay. Get out of it. And that takes a lot of energy. If you've never been, that's why I say if you do mixed martial arts, your core strength will get there, because when a guy is holding you down, you've got to pretty much use everything to get up. And it could be like 2 minutes. You're fucking tired because every muscle in your body is worked out to try to escape from whoever's on top of you. So, yeah, my suggestions: eat better, lots of core exercises, and get in a fight. There you go.
Don't do the last one, Ray, because then if he's there in prison, but KocoSports YouTube channel said I should get in a fight, and I didn't know how, so I went up to a random old lady and said, "Fight me." That's there you are.
And she kicked your ass. Yeah, your ass kicked by an old lady. Damn, dude.
God, this is educational, factual, everything. You name it, we had it. Thank you so much for live comments, everyone. Thanks for watching live. If you're listening post live, put in the comments below win, loss, or tie, or thoughts on the overall SmackDown show and ideas for championship names. We have there's some great ones. Island Championship was one of my favorite ones. The Island Championship, I think that's a great one. Fight on the island. But Rasslin, Rantin, how can they find you?
You can check me out on the website, webchannel24.com/Rasslin, RASSSLIN. I'm sending you guys to the website this week because there are way too many good matches in the G1 for me to give match recommendations every week. So I'm just putting links up almost daily to some of the best matches. I got some to upload tonight. So check that out. If you guys don't watch a lot of New Japan, or you don't have New Japan World, or don't have access to it, this is a great resource for you to at least get familiar with some of the matches. You can't see the whole shows, obviously, but you can see some of the matches that are on there. I also have the YouTube channel, which I just had the Rasslin review for this past week. We talk about Conor McGregor versus the pro wrestling world, and I can't believe everybody fell for that shit, but it happens. He's a bastard, but he's a smart bastard. We talk about that, Shelton Benjamin. We talk about Mailbag. And I am currently still working on that Russell Rock 86 retrospective review from the AWA. All I can say is Google Russell Rock rap. That's all I can say, guys. And yeah, it's hard. It's a hard one to get through. But yeah, so check me out on the Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I'll probably add some comments to this video after it's posted up. And I'll see you guys Thursday when we talk about old Crockett Wrestling from '86.
That's what we'll talk about. So like, comment, subscribe, KocoSports.net, buy Dave Koko's book so he's on the show more. We'll be back, me, Booms, and possibly Mr. Koko will be back for an NXT review tomorrow, 1 hour after NXT airs live. We've all had some rest. We feel rejuvenated, and we're looking forward to bringing you some awesome content this week. So make sure you stay safe, stay well, because it's a fucking fucked up world out there. And from me and Rasslin Rantin, we'll be catching your asses down the line.